Is it full screen mode now?
Correct.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andy. So hi everyone, thank you very much to joining our webinar today. My name is Jason Lee. I'm the platform manager for Network Optix APAC office. So today we're going to go through this webinar, and along the time I will share some of the information about our company. I will also share the main features about the software for our new friends in this webinar. And the last sessions, I will share some of the new features from the recent updated v5.1 versions and the integration tools. So throughout my webinars, if you have any questions, again, you should be able to see there is a questions function module. Please type your questions there, okay? So first, some quick facts about our company. Network Optix was founded back in 2010, right? So our goal is to create a platform to solve enterprise video issues, right? So we've been doing this for 13 years already. And so far, we have put a simplified, revolutionized intelligent videos in many major enterprise projects around the world, across smart cities, smart factories, retail, even SMB home user, banks, transportations. There are different vertical markets we have stepped into, right, with our revolutionary video management softwares. Some of the success I would like to share with you. The first one is we are the most lightweighted and feature-rich media server on the planet. Later on, I hope you will find why we can consider ourselves as the most lightweighted and feature-rich VMS servers in the world. And just last year, we are voted as the #1 VMS in the market, right? Not just because of we have a fantastic UI user interfaces, it's also because of our architecture, our approach to tackle day-to-day video-related questions. So we got a very honored voted result as the best VMS in the markets, right? So far we have sell our licenses to more than 190 countries. And from 2012, when we sold our first licenses until today, we have actually installed more than 4 million licenses around the world, right? 4 million licenses representing 4 million cameras are you doing recording with our license. Some of you may already know that we don't actually charge for live view, right? So 4 million actually means just the camera recording with Nx. If we also consider the live viewing channel with Nx, the quantity is much more than that. And just for the first 10 months of this year, we have sold more than 500,000 licenses already within the 10 months, right? So it's a very nice volumes we've been doing around the world. And other than that, the last things I'd like to share with everybody is we have been nominated 8 straight years on the Inc. 5000 magazine as the fastest growing software company in the USA, right? So the first time I believe is from 2016, and just a few months back we got nominated again. So it's already 8 consecutive years as the fastest growing software company in the world, right? So just a quick note, if you are following, you are a subscriber to Netflix, I will encourage you to take a look at this documentary called Countdown Inspiration Missions, right? In this documentary, there are several shots from these space missions. You will notice our interface in this documentary as well, okay? So a quick glance about our company. So our headquarters is in San Francisco, and we have multiple regional offices in the world, right? Me and Andy, we're based in Taiwan. There are 10 staff here, including the sales team, the pre-sales team, the marketing team, and the post-sales support engineering team. And we've been expanding our SEA team or Asia teams very rapidly in the past 1 year. Right, maybe you noticed that we have been hosting this APAC webinar week. Starting from Korea, my colleague Aaron King gave a webinar on Monday, and then Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia. Right now, we have our local teams in these countries, and we in Taiwan are supporting our colleagues from these remote office. Right. Other than that, we have a team of 3 staff in Australia, also remote office in UK, Netherlands, Belgium, France. We're also open a new office in Serbia and Turkey, right? South America as well, Mexico, Colombia. So that's our global presence. But for our audience today, For all the business in Asia will be taken care by our team in Taiwan or our regional teams in the countries listed here. Okay, so this is SecureTech Taiwan. We always have a very nice booth at SecureTech Taiwan. It's at the end of April every year. So next year, we are also doing these big events in Taiwan. So if you have any plans to visit Taiwan, I would really encourage you to set your schedule in April and let's meet in SecureTech next year. Okay, so we not only showcase our solution, we always invite 10, even 12 ecosystem partners to showcase how our solutions work together for different vertical markets. Right, so let's step into our product parts. So Nx Witness is an enterprise video software. So we tailored our VMS to solve 95% of the surveillance requirements out of the box, right? Meaning you don't need to install any prerequisite, you don't need to install any third-party solution. Our software to help you solve your surveillance tasks 95% of the time, right? So there are different layers of our software structure, including a cloud layer, a server application, a desktop application, a mobile application, and a really nice and open source developer tools, where we will talk about it a bit later in the presentation. And also we have a very rich and increasing integration marketplace. We call it Works with Nx Solutions, right? So as to our product, right now, we have 3 business models. I will start from the one everybody is most familiar with, which is the Nx Witness VMS, right? So this is a perpetual license. You can download the software free. You can buy the license for recording, and it has been deployed for many, many countries, right? And just start from Q4 last year, we start to step into the SaaS market, the video surveillance as a service market. So right now, there are 2 new business models we can work together with our partners. The first one is the Powered by Nx SaaS model, where we will build your private labeled VMS under a subscription model, right? So if you are a service provider or if you are a technology company, you want to have all the solution stack packed together all under your brand name, right? The Powered by Nx SaaS model might be a good option for you to consider, right? The other one is a very new one, the Nx Witness software. We are also introducing the SaaS versions, so which is under a recurring licensing models, right? So these are the 3 business model we are having so far. The Nx Witness with perpetual license, the Powered by Nx to build your very own private label VSaaS product with a recurring model, or the Nx SaaS model, okay? So just some quick facts about our software with numbers, right? So maybe you have tried other VMS in the world already. I believe the installation package could be pretty big, like gigabyte levels, right? Plus the SQL Server, plus the prerequisite, it could be very easily to reach multiple gigabytes, right? Our software is, like I said, it's a server client architecture. Our server plus client applications altogether is just around 200 megabytes without any software prerequisite that is needed, right? So that is why we can, of course, run on Intel, on AMD computers. This year, we can run our software directly on IP cameras. I'll give you a live demo of that. Not just an IP camera, a Raspberry Pi, a Banana Pi, or even a body-worn camera. We will take a look at it later. We can just run the full VMS software inside an edge device at this size, right? So it has to be small. It has to be small enough to run on different edge devices like that. The second one is our software works extremely efficient, right? If we have 128 1080p cameras in your project, we actually only need a single core of i3 CPU plus 16 gigabyte of RAM, right? So we really only require a minimum resources from CPU and RAM. We don't even need a GPU. That's why we can coexist with various AI applications to have, no matter we call it AI camera with VMS server, AI box with VMS server, or any embedded solution with VMS plus AI, right? Because we only require minimum CPU and RAM resources, and we can leave all the GPU for the AI that is running together with Nx on the same hardware. Right, I'll give you a live demo about this one. We can search a 1 year of archive to see whether there is a motion event within 1 second. Right, motion detection is not a new technology. I think we have that like 16, 17 years ago already when I just started working. Right, so it's an old school of features. But what we do is we make it perfect. Right, motion detection, if you're using that, take you several minutes to do that. I don't think the security guard is going to use it. Our motion search can, again, help you to search a 1 year of archive to see if there's a motion within 1 second, make it totally different from others. Okay, as of today, as of August this year, we have supported more than 900 camera manufacturers in the world, 17,000 devices across camera, DVR, NVR, encoder, different type of cameras, PDZ, multi-sensors, or multi-sensor plus PDZ, different kind of combinations. We have support more than 17,000 models in the world, right? So with our architecture, you can easily build or scale your project to 10,000 cameras without engineering support. You just install the software in multiple servers, merge them, start to use it. Right, so these are some of the facts with number to let our new friends understand like some of the interesting things of our VMS software. Okay, also just real quick, our VMS software, why we say it is the most lightweighted and cross-platform VMS in the world, because our server, our client application, we can run on Windows, which is like 95% of the VMS can do. We can run on Windows 10, Windows IoT, or Windows Server. That's normal. We can run on Ubuntu Linux. That becomes a little bit rare to run the VMS server on an Ubuntu Linux environment. We can run even on Debian Linux if you are using a ARM computers, right? No matter you are using a Qualcomm Snapdragon, if you are using a NVIDIA Jetson GPU edge computing, they are mostly using Debian. So we can also run our VMS server on a Debian OS. Other than that, we can run Raspbian for Raspberry Pi, Bananian for Banana Pis, right? It's the same version of software, the same look and feel, UI, user interfaces, but we can just run it on Windows, Linux, or ARM, no matter it's a server application or a client application. That makes our software very truly cross-platform and make the SI, make the user a very flexible way to design your project. No matter you have a centralized server architecture or you have the power edge solution where you want to merge into your centralized solution, you got all the possibility with our software architecture. Right. Other than that, we have the cloud layer, which the user is using the browser to interact with it, and we support all the modern browser, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge. We also have a mobile app for Google, Android, right? And if you are using Edge on your mobile phone, you can use the browser to access to the server, the system as well, right? As I mentioned before, we are very lightweighted, 200 megabytes of installation size. That's server plus clients. So that makes it possible to run the VMS in Raspberry Pi, in a Jetson computer, or even directly on IP cameras. Okay, installations. I think our attendees who have tried our software or use our software already, I think we are, if we are not a number one, we are definitely the top 3 VMS. That is the easiest for you to install, right? I hope you also find this way, right? So you don't need to install any prerequisite, no SQL Server. We are using SQLite plus our proprietary index technology. So install our enterprise level VMS. It's just like install WhatsApp computer version to your Mac or to your Windows computer, right? So it's so simple, so easy, usually take less than 2 minutes. So installation is easy. And the other interesting part is after you install the software, we don't have base license to activate the software. We don't have camera license to add camera to the software. Once you download free, install free, start using free, we will auto discover the USB camera that is connected to the server. We will discover all the IP camera, DVR, NVR if they are integrated with us. we will discover them. If we are in the same subnet, you will find them in your resource tree. And you can start live viewing them, two-way audio. For example, our partner like Hanwha Vision, Axis, VivoTech, or VCA, they have amazing in-camera analytics, right? You can actually start using their in-camera video analytics with our VMS for live alerts, right? Other than that, there are some of the really cool enterprise feature, like using our NX Cloud Secure Connection, integrating with your company's Microsoft Active Directory or LDAP logging, etc., etc. Everything can be done within the free versions, right? So installation easy, setup configuration easy. You can start using all the functions right away. Okay. So when we talk about a lot of easy things, people will think about, is this safe, right? Especially when we are streaming video via IP, right? So we have to show some facts about how secure is our software. If you remember at the very beginning of my presentation, we are doing a very special project for space missions, right? That user, of course, they have a super high standard for the software they use, right? So references is one way to show we are a pretty secure software. The technical approach to show you is that all the connections between the cloud, the server, the client are encrypted by default. The user can very easily encrypt the video streams between the server and the client with a single click as well. Other than that, we have some like, I won't say the old school, but it's like watermark over your client right here. Because some of the security breach issues that the employee, they're just using their smartphone, taking a video, no matter it's funny or it's bad, take the video and post on their Twitter, their YouTube, right? So if we can add a watermark overlaying on the client, then the security guard's name is actually right there. So this can scare them away from taking video and leak on the internet, right? And other than that, we have a very comprehensive audit trail, just like right here, for the admin user to know who, for example, Andy, in this case, log into the system, and then I can select the period of time. I can know all the activities Andy has been performing right there, right? So all these are the technical approaches that we're trying to protect our software at the server, client, or cloud layers. And of course, it's not just we say we are secure, right? It's important we have a official third party to test our softwares, right? So every time when we have a major release, we will send our software to do third-party cybersecurity penetration test, right? So OWASP is one of the popular certifications in the internet or the internet network industries, right? So the OWASP testings we passed last time, and of course we passed this time with the 5.1 versions as well. We got the excellent A grade for the OWASP cybersecurity testing. And just this year, we also got the SOC Type 2 certificate, which is from the American Institution of Accountants, right? So the SOC Type 2 is not just about the software or the cloud services. It's also about how my colleagues, our NX team, how do we share information within our company? What is our stand-up protocol to take care of the data, right? So we're moving to cloud. So we also got this SOC Type 2 certified just this year. Okay, so I'll jump a little bit into the architecture because this is very important to tell why we're different, right? The first things I like to share with you, the traditional NVR VMS architecture, which many of you might be familiar with that, right? I have multiple NVR or VMS servers right here. I have VMS or NVR clients to see each individual NVR or VMS. If I need a failover, the common use term is N+1 failover. So I have one failover standing right here, waiting for one of the server to dead, right? Once it's dead, I will take over the camera, continue the recording right there. If we have multiple sites, I want to monitor all the servers at the same time, I will have a CMS server. The NVR VMS server will be added to the CMS server so that I can use the CMS client, connect to the CMS server to see, to look, and to manage all my NVR VMS servers. So that's the typical VMS architecture happening 95% of the time in the world. So that's the architecture. These are the licenses related to this architecture. Base license to use the VMS software, camera license to add camera, failover license to have failover feature, CMS license to connect multiple servers at the same time, concurrent client license to have maximum concurrent user connection, etc., etc., etc. So that's the typical way. That's most of the players in the market are tackle the issues we're facing. So Nx Server Hive, what is that? So we have different approaches that, let's say we have multiple servers right here, right? Server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4. They're all taking care of different quantities of cameras. So I am a user. I can use my Windows computer, Linux computer, like me using a Mac or using Android smartphone. It doesn't matter. I can connect to any servers, right? I can confirm the IP address and say, I want to connect to this IP. Or I just let Nx Cloud to bridge me to the Nx server, which I have the shortest route to it. Either way, you can connect to any of the server and be able to see all the rest of the server, its camera, doing live view, playback, event setup, got notifications, right? So we don't need a CMS server for you to connect to so that to see all the VMS server. No, you just connect to one VMS server with sufficient user right, you will be able to see and manage all the rest of the VMS servers. Failover. It's also very important in our Hive architecture. Let's say I have a Windows computer, Ubuntu server, Windows server, a Raspberry Pi, and maybe an Nx server inside one of the IP cameras, right? So I merge them into a systems. There are 6 servers, 12 cameras altogether, right? So if one of the Windows server doesn't work, its 2 camera will automatically fail over to the remaining server. It can be a random failover to any of the server. Or you can configure and say, if server 1 died, always go to server 2, right? So it can be a random mechanism, or it can be a predefined path for the failover to work. So if, let's say the Windows cameras, server's camera go to the Ubuntu, and then unfortunately, the Ubuntu server doesn't work either, then the 4 cameras will just fail over to the remaining Nx server in the systems, right? So these features are actually included in our free versions. Let's say I don't have recording, but I have live video. The camera doesn't work here, about 15 to 20 seconds, it fell over to another server, the user can continue to see the live view, right? So our server Hive architecture solved the 2 main requirements. First one, CMS architecture to see multiple view. Second one, a failover, no matter you design this one as N+1 or N+N, it doesn't matter. We have the Hive architecture there. It's up to the user, up to the SI to design. You want to have a N+1 or N+N. It's very comfortable, convenient for you to design. Okay. Boring part almost ended. Later on, I will give you several live demos about our software, right? So we've been known as the VMS that's providing one of the best UI and UX for the client features, right? Like fisheye dewarping, digital zoom, PDZ control, soft trigger to work with different sensors, smart motion search, building house monitoring, etc., right? Later on, I will give you some of the quick demo about these features, right? So the first one, let's see the smart motion search. So first, let's connect to our Taipei demo systems. Okay, remember I said we can search 1 year archive in 1 second, right? So let's say, let's call out a, fisheye camera right away. So this is our beautiful Taipei office. We should see our friend Andy here joining our webinar. So this is live. Hello, Andy. Yeah, so let's see the the smart motion search. I like to use fisheye, right? Because it covers a wide areas. So let's say this is our restroom. Let's see if someone go to this area. If you notice that once I click the button, smart motion search, the motion index show immediately, right? If you go up, click the calendar mode, we have actually seen all the available index within the archive, right? But what I want to show you is that please pay attention to the bar below. I will start to change the location of motion. Let's see the entrance to toilet, right? You see, it becomes much less like this, right? And I can say, I want to know maybe last time, 8 p.m. Why 8 p.m. there's someone in our office? I can just quickly take a look and see, oh, that's our cleaning lady who just finished her work. And I can say, I want to go back to September 26th, 10 p.m. Why someone is in our office at 10 p.m., right? But just right away, I can quickly see that's our cleaning ladies again. I can change another area, maybe let's see the area to our cafe area. So you can see that the red bar change immediately, just depending on the location where I search for the motions. Again, there's no fancy technology inside. We're not using any AI. It's a pixel-based motions, but we have our motion detection index. We have our mechanism to make it super fast, right? So if the scene is not too complex, we don't have a lot of false alarm. Using our smart motion search can actually solve many of the security investigation tasks. Again, I want to know someone go to the office like 11 p.m. Why? Just immediately I see the result is right here, right? Our colleagues are still working at that time, right? Okay, so that's the first one, super fast smart motion search. Okay. The second one is the fisheye dewarping. I will give you a live demo too. So I believe we have a very nice offline videos from one of our partner, Evotech. Right, so I have a port video right here. I have it for surveillance. This one, yeah, this one. So our fisheye dewarping is client function. So it's actually done by our Nx desktop client. So it doesn't matter if you are using an offline video, if you are using just an archive, or if you are using a live streaming. What you need to do is just add the fisheye view here, go to file setting, press the dewarping. We can adjust the view a little bit. Once it's done, the fisheye camera are dewarped, right? So see what's happening right here, right? So I can start to, the first mode is the dewarping mode, 90 degree, 180 degree, right? It's pretty standard. What I also like to show you is we can create different zoom window immediately like this. There are several streets. I want to move it here, or there's another main street right there. There's another main street right here, right? Let's move it down. The same camera, I can actually add it to the VMS twice, right? So the first one, I'm using it as a cropping window with real-time dewarping, right? It works on live view, it works on playback. The other one, I want to dewarp it to 180 or maybe 360, right? So it's the same camera. You just play with our layout. Maybe you notice that we don't provide the user a 2x2, 3x3, 5x5, or 8x8 different combinations. You don't find that in our interface. The user can change whatever layout wants, like this. You can design the way you like. Andy has a project in Thailand. The user has a creative way. They even create a layout where you can see the city names inside their layout view. So it's maximum flexibility for you to do that. Okay, and then let me pull the live video to show you. So let's go back to our office fisheye camera right here. So right now, excuse me, let me stop the motion search. Right now, I have a archive video with fisheye dewarping. At the same time, let me move the fisheye camera here. I have a live camera from Andy where we can see Andy is right here, right? So I can actually doing the dewarping on this channel. And if I'm following someone, some car to another fisheye camera, I can quickly move the bounding boxes to another fisheye channel and start to do the dewarping. And I can move it back to start to do that right? So it's maximum flexibility for you to use the AI to investigate your fisheye video. Okay. The other cool things I like to share with you, but we don't see that often yet, which is actually we can now develop a 360 VR 360 videos, right? So this is a video taken in a Toyota factory. So again, we go to the developing mode, we select develop, but this is not a fisheye camera. This is a VR 360 camera, right? So VR 360 camera, it usually consists with two fisheye camera. One is looking one side of the world, another is looking the other side of the world. And then they use the software to stitch it, it become a global view, right? So we can do that, develop it. And once it's done, show the videos right here. So we can, sorry, I didn't develop it successfully, develop it with 360 like this. After develop it, like we can start to create different crop window to see it. I mean, fast forward a little bit like this, start playing the video, right? So even though it's a 360 cameras, I can still use our VMS client to crop it to see different angles. So imagine if you are in the production lines, you just put instead of putting one, there are several options: multi-sensor camera, fisheye camera, VR 360 camera. Depends on your use cases, but it doesn't matter. We work with all. We work perfectly with multi-sensor camera. We work great with fisheye camera. Right now, we also work perfectly with a VR 360 cameras. So we're waiting for more camera with this spec to be available in the world so that we can use that together with our software. Okay. So again, anytime if you got any questions, feel free just to text us at the questions modules. Okay, Andy and I, we are monitor the questions, and feel free to interrupt me. Okay. Right. The other one is very similar to fisheye dewarping, but it's digital zoom for multi-sensor camera, which I just mentioned. Well, to do that, I actually created a layout right here. So thanks for our partners providing us those gorgeous multi-sensor video snapshots. These are just snapshots from some of the real projects, right? The first one is a bank. It's one of the very important national bank of Taiwan here. It's a retail shop. It's a warehouse, right? So we have multi-sensor cameras to see a large areas. So again, we just click the button to see the digital zoom windows. Let me put it here, right? So I can do that to see this office entrance as well. I can create another one right here to see the door entrance right here. We can zoom in, zoom in. We can make good use of the high resolution streams from the cameras, right? We need a good software to make the hardware work better, right? So we can create literally, technically unlimited channels like here, right? But here in this case, I think A10 will be quite sufficient for a view like this. We can zoom in to a very details, right? Again, together, just the same as the fisheye dewarping, right? I can move within this multi-sensor camera, and if I'm following someone going from the clerk area to the shopping area, I can very easily zoom in to see the detail, to see the pharmacy, right? And if the person go down the way to the hall and then move into the warehouse, I can just easily move my bounding boxes, the regional of interest, to follow the person to see the details, right? So not just for fisheye dewarping, but also for a super high resolution multi-sensor camera to perform easy digital zooms to see all the details. All right. So the last one I'd like to share with you is a quick view about our mobile apps, right? And that will be much easier if I do a video demo. Thanks for Andy to make this video. Right, so with our mobile app, there are some cool features. First, of course, you have Nx Cloud. You can connect to different systems, right? Let's go to our Taipei office. And then very quickly, you can see different cameras. You can select different layouts to see different quantity of camera at the same time. So I believe the first time Andy is going to show us the smart motion search. Yes, our mobile app can work not only for the live video, but also for the smart motion search. You just click the motion button right here, use your finger to drag the area. We can quickly, just like your performance on the desktop client. With the mobile client, we can also do 1 second search 1 year archive to find all the results right here. Okay, I'll do a little bit faster. Yeah. Other than that, there are some interesting interactions. For example, we can control I/O models, right? I can use my mobile app to turn on the light. I can use the mobile app through an I/O module. For example, Axis have different I/O modules, right? We can easily configure a soft trigger to control any sensor, any devices that are connected to Axis or Advantech I/O modules. Fisheye dewarping, also great with our mobile app. Just use your finger to do that on your smartphone, and then we can zoom in, dewarp in real times. Right. Okay, so I really encourage you to download this. This is free, and please go to iOS App Store or Google Play Store to download it. Okay. So about our developer tool, real quick. Last year, I believe Q3 or Q4, we have open sourced all our developer tools from REST Server API, the latest JavaScript API, C++ based metadata SDK, open video source SDK, or storage SDK. We have open source all our developer tool. Just scan this QR code right there. We will direct you to our GitHub page. We not only have the documentation, we have put a lot of reference codes right there for you to try something great with our software. And just a quarter ago, right, the client, the desktop client we've been seeing right here, this desktop clients, just a quarter ago, we also open sourced our desktop clients, right? So for hardcore users, if you want to customize something that no vendor can build for you, you just take our source code and do whatever you want. Like you can change the layout totally, leave whatever you like, delete whatever you don't like, and add whatever you need to customize our client interface to solve your very own issues. It's always a challenge for the manufacturer. User require very, very valuable inputs and say, I need these functions. Resource is always limited for big or small companies, right? So our automated approach is that we just open source our desktop client for no matter you're an SI, you are an outsourcing technology house, or you are an end user with a very strong IT information team. Now you can take our source code and change our client interface to integrate it with your own workflow, right? So that's our approach. Not just the open source developer tool, but also a open source desktop client, okay? And with these developer tools, we have made a lot of integrations, right? So these camera manufacturers, Axis, Hanwha, VivoTech, Bosch, right? We have done native integrations. They have a marvelous in-camera analytics, right? To classify a really long list of objects, right? Wearing hats, mask, glasses, bag, color of your clothes, your pants, lots of things just can be done within the cameras. And we offer a framework for them to make integrations, right? So that we can configure the AI, interact with the metadata. I will give you a quick live demo later. And not just the camera-based AI. I think everybody knows the GPU server has gone crazy right now, right? NVIDIA, Halo, everybody are providing more and more powerful GPU to tackle with the ever complicated AI requirements, right? So we also very actively working with a server-based AI company from Taiwan, from Asia, from Europe, from North America. Now we have solution partners that can work for smart factory, city, transportation, application from facial recognition, visitor management, AMPR, vehicle, MMC, fire, smoke, safety, a lot of them. Some customize the solution, like our partners in North Europe, they have a wild animal detection and classify solutions, right? So there are a lot of different interesting AI solutions at the edge, at the server, in the cloud. there are benefits from our open source developer tools to integrate with our software, right? Now I'll give you a live demo to show you how AI solutions can work with Nx, right? Just real quick, I will show you how do we interact with the AI, how can we benefit AI to set up a super smart recording schedule, not just recording, motion recording, bookmark recording. Now we can use AI to trigger the recording so that we can save the storage better. Also, we can have a AI-based backup. I have a 7 days archive on site. I want to use my AI to detect a person, detect a car. I can be very specific. I only want when an object detected, I want to back up the data to cloud, right? So it can be a different combinations of all archive to be backup, motion archive, object archive, bookmark archive, or combinations of any of them to back up your information to another location or even to the cloud. Like I'll show you our architecture with Wasabi. We can also back up the event video powered by AI to a Wasabi cloud to make it safe and keep it like forever, right? We can also have AI-based event rules. For example, we have partner that can detect not just if that's a car, we know the brand of the car, we know the color of the car. We can say, if there is a red Tesla Model 3 detected by which camera, I want you to do one actions. If there is a green truck detected, I want you to do another actions, right? We don't offer any AI, but we offer the very flexible event rule, the open source developer tools for our third-party partner to provide us the weapons or the tools to create a super sophisticated, comprehensive event rule actions like this. A red Tesla Model 3, send me a mobile push notification because my boss is coming, right? Or the other car, I don't care. It can be that specific, okay? So a quick demo. I'm going to use a Hanwha AI cameras right here. This is our office area, right? So if you add the camera right here, there is a object tab right there. So let's say I am only care about things happening in the last 7 days. Once we do that, and then we will start to load the objects, right? And we can see if there's a person right here, again, it's all done on the camera. There's no fancy server in our office to do things like this. So this camera is able to identify objects like there's a face. What is the attribute about the face? For example, age, gender, glasses, mask, or hat. And the camera can classify, oh, this is a person. And I have another list of attribute about the person. For example, the color of the clothes, the color of the pants, right? And we can do some interesting filters. For example, I want to know if someone, like this is the entrance of office, if someone come closer to our office area, so good to know, is Andy going to the office in this area? I can be more specific. I want to know if there's someone wearing a blue, no matter clothes or pants, walk near our office, right? So like this one is Andy, so which is okay, right? And there's a student, right? So why the student go to our office area? I'll just turn off the lights, so it's okay, right? So it can be very specific because many of the time, when we call the police or we call the admin, we cannot tell too much detail. We're nervous, right? We say, I only remember he wear a blue shirt or maybe a blue pants, right? So we can use a very simple combinations, drag the camera here, drag the area I'm interested in, key in one keyword, blue. And then I will be very quickly find out, oh, there's a man or a girl, woman wearing blue near our office entrance, just that fast, right? And we also introduce a new feature called advanced object search, right? So right now in our office, there are multiple AI running in the backend. So let's continue to use the Hanwha example. So let's say I find a person right here, so you can see a detailed information about the description. This is a man, if they're wearing a hat, the color of the clothes, or the color of the pants, right? If I choose vehicle, you will see different options: bike, bus, car, truck. If we choose person, there are different options, right? Hats, color. If we choose space, there are different options like age, adult. So again, we provide the framework. Our partner will define what are the search filters that is available right here, right? So if we go to like even Hanwha alone, there are different factors right here. If we see Vivo tag, there will be different factors right here. Okay, VCA, there will be different factors right here. The object classifier they can do on their video channels, right? That's the advanced object search panels of it. Okay, just real quick, like with some integrations, we can actually go in right here. I want to set up the camera. I just click on that and say, I want to draw a line right here. If there's a person detected who coming to our floor via the elevator, I want to do something, right? So the user, they only need to doing the configuration on our VMS client interface. Once they press the button apply, the configuration will be saved to the camera. The user doesn't have to go to the camera web browser, even though we have a very easy way for them to use our VMS server as a proxy server to connect to the camera web interface to do the configuration. They can do that, right? But we have done the integration to the level, which is they only need to do the configurations on our software. Once they press the button save, we will save everything to the camera firmware. So we don't have to do double setting or change your interfaces to do that. Okay. And also, like I said, we can very easily set up different recording schedule based on motion, based on object, or motion plus object. You might say why. When we are introducing AI to a project, the confidence level of the AI might not be that high, right? So we will combine AI plus motion at the beginning, just in case we don't miss any important events. After 1 week, 2 weeks, we think, okay, the AI is quite accurate. We can move back to only object-based detections. At the beginning, we are doing object plus motions detections to start the recording, okay? Sorry, let me disable this setting. Okay, good, happy, okay. All right, so that's metadata. So before that, everything I just shared with you about our company, about existing features, right? So just to give our new partners some update, some informations about us, and give our old partners some of the recap about the cool things about our software or company. Now I'd like to share you something new. We have some very interesting strategic partnership this year with Qualcomm, with NVIDIA, with camera SoC, camera manufacturer, even different ARM platforms, right? Qualcomm, just 1 month ago, they launched their very first AI box based on Snapdragon to tackle the AI plus IoT applications. So Snapdragon is super powerful smartphone. Now Qualcomm has a new product called EB5 that is tackle the surveillance industry with building AI. And we can run our VMS, like I said, directly on the Qualcomm AI box, right? Qualcomm, they also have a very interesting product. It's a body-worn camera like this, right? And we can also run our VMS software directly inside this body-worn camera. I will share with you a live demo of this a little bit later. Other than that, we've been a long-time partner of NVIDIA, I believe since 2017, when they launched the Jetson Edge Computing board, a very powerful Jetson, right? So right now we have partner VCA. They have a Jetson-based AI box, right? So we are running AI with Nx. It can be 12-channel AI or 8-channel Nx plus, I believe, 4-channel AI combinations to run all the good VMS feature, AI feature at the edge. We have partner AI Mobile from Taiwan who are doing super smart IP camera based on Jetsons, right? We can put our VMS inside a camera. It could act as a VMS server or a cloud gateway for the user to easily remote connect to your IP camera, which is at the intersection using 5G as your backhaul without a static IP address, right? Excuse me. And we also very actively working with our camera partner, VCA. They have launched a whole new series of IP camera, different type, box, booty, or dome with Nx server building. We are actively working with Axis and VivoTech to run our VMS directly inside Axis camera that is newer than the Optec A generations or a long list of VivoTech cameras. Right? I will share with you the architecture, why we see VMS inside the camera is important, okay? Other on-platform, Renesas from Japan, who has been known for the mobility car industry. SocialNext from Japan, also doing data center CPU SoC. Rockchip from China, Raspberry Pi, Banana Pi. We have partner building these edge data center solutions with our VMS installed on it, right? So it's a very comprehensive family where we can all leverage the power of Nx with the edge AI. So just give you a quick idea, what is the VCA NXE? So I see right here, like there's a lot of things, right? The Nx VMS server, the VCA Nx plugin, which is developed by the VCA team to allow Nx server to work with their AI, right? So all these software components are all inside the cameras, right? So if I have a retail, I have an ATM to monitor, I don't need to put an NVR. I don't need to put an Intel NUC computer. I just put this AI camera with VMS inside, plus PoE switch maybe, or if it's just one camera, the power connector, a networking, no matter via 4G, ADSL, or fiber, just like that. The camera, it's a server itself. It's a VMS server. It's a cloud gateway. It's a VA servers. The architecture looked like this. I have camera with VMS server. I have AI box with VMS server. I have body-worn camera with VMS server buildings. An IP camera with VMS server, we can actually use it as a NVR or a VMS recording server. In the same LAN environment, I have another 3 camera maximum. I can add the 3 camera to this camera. So that camera is a VMS server that is making recording for 4 camera at the same time. So some of the camera can even do AI. So I don't need an NVR. I don't need any computer. I can perform advanced AI just like I showed you a few minutes ago. I have a VMS inside the camera to do that. I have multiple sites for retail, for government sectors, for SMB. I have multiple sites, some sites with only 4 camera, some sites with 12 cameras. So I put a VCA AI box where I can take care of more cameras at the same time. I have hundreds of security guards walking outside using 4G or 5G. Just use Nx Cloud. You can use your mobile phone, your desktop client, connect to Nx Cloud, able to see all these devices at the same time, right? So let me give you a quick demo right now. So let me log out. Oh, no, I don't need to log out. So let me log out. I like to log out first. So now this is the interface of my Nx Cloud login, right? I have access to different systems in Taipei, like this is my home, I'll show you later, in Thailand, or this is our distributor from France, our partner from Australia, our distributor PG Security from the Netherlands. I have access to their systems. Now I want to show you this, Nx embedded body-worn cameras, right? So now I have connected to the body-worn camera. So let me press the button. Okay, don't worry, I can use the same version. Let me press the button to start streaming. I don't know if you hear the beep. Oh, sorry, it's too close. It's scary. So once I press streaming, right? So right now I can see, right, I'm sorry, it's my home, my desk, a little bit messy, right? So right now it's the body-worn camera using 4G, right, with our VMS server inside. So it solves all the complex network issue because Nx Cloud provide a super easy connections to these devices, right? So the body-worn camera can be easily connected And let's say I want to see the camera from our Taipei office. Remember, we have the Hanwha camera right there, which we just see. So first time when you use these functions, which I'm going to show you, is called introducing the cloud layouts available in 5.1. So right now I'm connecting to the body one camera, but at the same time I have access right to Nx Taipei. So I can drag camera from Nx Taipei to my body one camera to view them. So imagine I have connections to different systems. Now let's go to France. It's morning time already. So I can, using the same interface, if you are a user with multiple systems across the globe, or if you are a security service provider, you have contract with different end user. Every end user's system is independent. Database index doesn't mess around with other users, right? But you are operator, they grant you the live view playback access right. So with one single login, your security guard having a body worn camera, you can see it, or you have access to France, you will be able to have access to Australia, access to the Netherlands, for example. So very easily and have a very rich interface to take care of the video streaming from your customers, right? So you ask me, right now we have a limitation. Every NX server hive, maximum 100 servers. Now we have the cross-system layouts. You will ask me, how many systems can I connect to via cross-system layout? The answer is unlimited, because this is the connection via NX Cloud, via AWS. So right now, you could have a super long list right here to manage all your systems with single login. Your search right here can cross all your systems to find the results. So if you have a good naming convention, not like mine, you have a good naming, right? You can very easily find the resources you are looking for and then take a look at them, manage them at the same time, right? So this is cross-system layout, very powerful. So let me show you my garden. So this is a NX embedded camera, right? So again, I have a in my home, I have a mobile camera right here. I have a NXE camera in my garden. Look at the above area. So I have a view from Taipei, Australia, France, or Netherlands. Very simple. Okay. The other thing I'd like to show you is why we want to put the body worn cameras right here. Let's do that. So there are several interesting features. Let's say there's the SOS button. I don't know if you can see that, because we have NX server building already. So if I long press the SOS, I can immediately receive a generic events right here, right? And there's another button right here. It's called bookmark. I can easily create a bookmark to my video channels, right? So it was me like doing a morning walk right here. There are some interesting lift. So I just created a bookmark right here. And there's an interesting camera right here. I also created a bookmark, right? So imagine if you are a body worn camera manufacturer, you want to have cloud connection, generic event to work with VMS, bookmark creation with your archive. It's pretty challenging, right? But if you run our VMS server directly on this body worn camera, you have all the features right away, right? We just empower the hardware, become super smart edge devices, okay? So it's not just for body worn, but for the cameras as well. Okay. So for the ARM, not just for the edge, we have a crazy partner from Korea. They developed a ARM server for data center. You can see right here the server. There are 32 blade computer right here. So altogether, every blade can run 100 channel of NX. 32 blades means a 3,200 camera within a 2U servers right there in their rack, right? So let's do a comparison. x86 architecture, the same power consumption, multiple virtual machines. I can take care of 1,000 camera with that, with NX. The same power consumption, if we move to ARM, we can take care of 3,200 camera channels. right? In some country, energy saving become a really important task, right? So now our partner has the options to utilize x86 plus virtual machines or utilize a ARM architecture for your data centers as well, right? How we say hot swappable. Our server hive architecture, if one blade doesn't work, we just take it out. It's 100 camera spread to the remaining 31 blades. Failover recording right there. We fix the board, put it back. Camera comes back, continue the recording. Right. So it's a hot swappable, high density, 32 blade ARM server within a 2U rack. Yeah. Okay. So that's also a very interesting project in Korea. Right. So we can see we are running Edge AI with AI cameras, and we are running a super low power consumption server to run thousands of cameras within a 2U spaces in your data center. Okay. Like I said, architecture, of course, we have done this testing together with Dell, with Seagate several years back. My colleague Annie actually just made a webinar about this architecture. It's really cool. We are running 1,000 4K camera on a single Dell server, plus a Seagate 5U84 enterprise IP-Sense storage solutions, right? It's a super high density architectures. So some of the user are super VMware expert. This architecture will be very comfortable for them to deploy and set up. I mentioned a little bit before, with Wasabi as well. You can imagine that we have server running in the ARM servers. We have server application running in VMware. We have all the mini servers running in IP camera, running in the body-worn camera, making edge recording, right? But it's not safe if we always keep the critical important archive in the device like this. It could be missed or destroyed, right? So we can say, whenever there's an event triggered by AI, I want to do a backup to Wasabi Cloud. So I don't back up all the archive. I just back up motion. I just back up bookmark. I just back up AI detected object. So it's a very comprehensive architecture. No matter you are running a data center with ARM server, x86 server with VMware, we're going to support Docker container next year. You can run Nx with Docker container in your data center too next year. Or you are running Nx in your smart edge in camera, body-worn camera, doesn't matter. All the architecture can be simplified with our server application installed on the hardware devices to interact with the Wasabi surveillance cloud to do backup recordings, right? Our good friend Raymond, yeah, if you are interested in Wasabi, that's his email, right? You can contact him to know more detail. They are being very active in the APAC regions for that, okay? So cross-system layout, I believe I've shown you. If you have access right to system, you can have unlimited connections to that. Okay, super nice feature. Camera replacements, right? It's a big thing for many users and SI. Like camera will die 1 year, 3 years, or 7 years if you are lucky enough, right? We have to replace the cameras. Let me play a quick videos. We have a new mechanism within 5.1 for camera replacement. I'm sorry. Let me look back. I always have issues with the sharing. Okay, so let's say we have an old camera right here, receptions. It's already offline, right? We have a new camera right here. It's an 8 megapixel camera right here. Okay, let's move a little bit faster. So the offline camera reception, we can still see the archive here. So we can see the resolution is okay. Just the viewing angle is not wide enough. So the user decided, I want to replace a super wide angle cameras. Cool. So let's see what is the new view of the new cameras. Right. If we see live, you can see it's a much wider view of this. Right. So what you need to do is go to the, I'm sorry. I should not press. I'm sorry, I shouldn't press space. I always forget it. Okay, let's go here. So let's go to the old camera and say, I want to replace this camera. Okay, and we will prompt a window for you to choose. Okay, which camera you want to replace? Which one is the new camera? So you select the 8 megapixel cameras right here. we will start to prepare the data transformation. Some of the data will not be transferred, including advanced setting, analytics, recording setting, or PDZ. Why? Because the new camera can be very different from the old camera. Based on our experiences, these things should be set again. But some of the critical information will be transferred without user to do anything. For example, just real quick, like this, the event rule of the camera, right? The event rule, the general settings of the camera, the archive, the most important one. I don't want to move the archive manually. The archive will be automatically merged between the new and old camera. The camera net, of course, we don't want to change it. The access rights, also very important. If I can see it, I can see it later when it's a new camera. If I cannot see it, I should not see it after the user change a new camera, right? And then you just press next. In the few seconds, we will start the data transfer, right? Just right away, I will stop right here a bit. It's actually done already. Just, I'll say 2-3 seconds, right? So right now, let me move a little bit. Okay, so we can see the live video of the reception. You see the 8 megapixel disappear. Only the reception camera still on the resource. The live at the lower right here, you can see it's the live video, and then we still got the archive from the old cameras, right? So it's a super easy way for SI or user to replace your old cameras. You just take it away, put the new camera, right click on the old camera, choose the new camera, press transfer. Few seconds, the new camera will be replaced. Right. So these are one of the really interesting features in 5.1 that I like to share with you. Okay. And some other new integrations, for example, Axis, VivoTab, MileSight, they have a new camera with a LPR analytic built-in. We have done new integrations with them. So if you are using their AMPR cameras, now you should be able to use the AMPR algorithms with our software. Other than that, before we didn't support MileSight and UniView, right? But in some part of the world, we are working closely with their distributors, like in Europe, right? So right now we also have a pretty comprehensive support for MileSight analytics or UniView analytics. Okay, so the last sessions, thank you. I will try to finish it within 15 minutes, okay? The last sessions is a new JavaScript API we just introduced, right? To do that, I want to give you a live video first. JavaScript API layout. Not this one. I need to connect to the Taipei server. So let's start with this one. So we have a new partner from France. They develop a pretty nice map applications, right? It's a GIS map solution where you can integrate with a Google Map or my video's not very smooth. Let me play the video on YouTube. Sorry. Let's do that. Yeah. So there are a team in France develop a map solution for Nx. You can see it's a web applications where there's a incident dashboard to interact with different sensor cameras in your projects, right? But what I want to show you is that they have a pretty nice interactive map solution together with a Google Map plus the static image. Right, so later on, you can see that we're adding different resources, no matter it's a sensor, no matter it's a camera, we can create triggers on the map to manage the events on the map directly, okay? So after we manage all the resources, we will move to the map features. Sorry, like this, we can create a static map like this. We can pinpoint the locations of your camera, decide the region of interest, decide the color, the lens, the coverage. It's very flexible, right? Other than that, they will also show us how it works on Google Maps. As for example, we can build in the map to Nx to see 2D, 3D, or satellite view. You have the camera icon on it. The nice part is this is using our Server API and JavaScript API. Maybe it's very fast. I don't know if you notice that. You are actually clicking the camera icon, then they use the Server API to put a video right here. But if you want to call out this camera to Nx, you don't actually need to go to our software. You just click the web. You click the web, double click web like my colleague's doing right now. If you double click that, we will pull the camera right here. So they're using the JavaScript API to control it. I will give you a quick live demo of it. Okay. Should be here. Yeah. So that's our Taipei office. Let me drop the little JSONs here to see our office building. Yeah, we just moved here last year. If you are in town, just let me know. I'll be happy to see you here. So that's our building. We have several cameras right here. Look at the street. Let's go to satellite mode. Right. So this is the building. We have all the cameras right here. Okay. So if I say I want to see the view, so they will use our Server API to pull the RTSP strings, right? But if I double click on this channel, it will actually control our feed client and say, oh, that's the camera I'm looking for. If I have AI integrated, right, I can immediately start to look for the analytics events right here. So the user interfaces are seamless, right? I have a web map applications right here. Let's go into our office. It become a static map, right? And we have my colleagues, our IRA face camera here. I can double click on that, put it back. I can start to see bookmark search. So I went to office yesterday. I can search my name, Jason, to see me go to the office just yesterday, right? So I have a map. I know where's the camera. I see the live video. I double click. I drag the video right away to Nx. I can start to interact with the metadata. The JavaScript API allow the users to work simultaneously with multiple applications at the same time with just a single click. Okay, so not just for map. Our partner GeoVisions from Taiwan, they have a access control solutions. So we can see that if we pull out the excuse me, GeoVision access control. So if we play the video right here, they are using our Server API to drag event, to drag video, right? I want to show you is here. Right, they have an event list of access control event, right? There's a door connected to a camera. I see there's an intrusion at a certain door. I just press the button right here and it will call out a camera, right? So it's, again, it's not just with the map solution, with the access control solution. I do all the access filter in my access control web application. I can quickly link my access control system with VMS, and then I can use the VMS to open the door, or use the access control application to open the door, right? And not just that, our partner CyberLink from Taiwan, who is very good at face recognition and visitor management software, they also made an integration via JavaScript API. They have an interface to crop a face to search for another similar faces, right? We cannot do this kind of search in our client interface, so, right? So they just put their face locator inside our VMS client using their web functions to perform the search. Sorry, it's in Chinese, but it say plays videos. After they perform on the face locator functions to find the person they are looking for, right? If we don't have JavaScript API, they need to see, okay, this is the timestamp, right? November 22nd, 2 p.m., right? This is the camera name. they need to go back here and then key in the camera name, go to the calendar and find the date, right? And then, okay, that's the event. With the JavaScript API, they only need to click the button, play video. We will directly pull the related camera here. It could be a one channel, it could be multiple channel, depends on the developer's design. We will pull the related camera, the target camera. We will start to play back the events where they find this person with their face.me locator, right? So JavaScript API integration, it's a, sorry, that's a big me. All right, so JavaScript API is a really cool new API we just offers, right? We see more and more use cases, no matter it's a GIS map, it's an access control, it's an AI, it's an incident management software. If you want to know more about that, right, we also open source the code already. You can go to Nx GitHub page. We have a reference page right there for you to see what we have designed. Let's say like this one, I'll give you a quick demo. Like, so I decide this is a camera I want to see, like this one. So I can say I want to add this channel to here. So just right away, this is just a sample page we'll provide to you. You can take the page, open the HTML file, take a look at what we have done for that. Like, so this is the real case from map, access control, facial recognition software. This is the open source reference code from our developer team on the Nx GitHub page. Okay. All right. So that's everything I want to share with you. I hope for our new Nx friends, you got some understandings about who we are, what we do, some of the achievement we have done, the key features about the software. I also share many interesting new functions from 5.0, 5.1, the cross-system layout, the strategic partnership with Wasabi cloud recording, strategic partnership with Qualcomm, NVIDIA, different camera SoC to run Nx server at the edge. Okay, so there are a lot of new things that are happening within our company. If you have any questions, always feel free to contact me or Andy, right? So we'll be happy to hear from you. Okay, so let's see, there are some questions right there. So let me repeat the questions. Okay, thank you, Yakuba. So let me see if there's any questions. Have how many megapixels? So yeah, so one of the questions from our attendees say how many resolutions are from these cameras with Nx server buildings, right? So I think Andy has replied in text, but I will repeat that again. So it actually depends on our camera partners, right? So if I understand VCA, their cameras are 4K. Maximum is 4K. Of course, you can make it lower to 5 megapixel, 3 or 2 megapixel. Axis, VivoTech, they have 5 megapixel or 8 megapixel cameras. Like I said, it doesn't matter about resolution. It's more about the SoC. Like Axis, it has to be a ARCTX 8 or newer, right? Resolution will definitely affect the days of recording you can keep on the micro SD card, right? So it's really good that before, even though we want to introduce NX2 camera, we don't have the SD card that's good enough to take care of this kind of a heavy read and write. But now SanDisk, Western Digital, they have the micro SD card that is designed for surveillance purposes, right? The VCA team, I know they've been doing that for stress testing to provide a 3 years guarantee for the micro SD card if you buy the camera together with the SD card together. And our partner, actually Hanwha, they also have a new series called Solid Edge, right? The camera is really nice, well designed, and they're utilizing a solid state disk, 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, right, on the camera with the SSD to perform as a server to work with 5 extra, total 6 camera at the same time. So we believe we are going to see more and more type of solution like that. If we can put NX inside a body-worn camera like this, I can say there are actually much more hardware devices. We can empower it with video, with cloud, with edge AIs, right? Okay. Another question. Would you like to say that we can use a camera as an NX server? Yes. Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what we are trying to deliver to the markets, right? Like right now, when we are talking about smart cities, smart factories, of course, the dominant architectures is still the centralized architecture. Like we have a super powerful server, all the cameras are streaming here via fibers, if we are lucky enough to have all this infrastructure. But in emerging countries, in the new cities or in the old city, like there are different challenges for new cities or old city to build an infrastructure for fibers, right? So great, we have 5G to have a very low latency, very high bandwidth for video data transmissions. So that's where we see the smart city, smart factory, intelligence traffic solutions become decentralized. We don't actually need to stream all the video all the way to your data center to do that. We can leverage the power of edge based on NVIDIA Jetsons. We can do 12 channel of AI at the intersections, right? We don't need to send all the data pipeline back to the data center. A Jetson at the intersection will take care of the local inference, take out all the metadata, and then only send the metadata that's meaningful for the user back to the command centers. We can design with different way. If we are lucky enough to have fiber, we can luxuriously string all the 5K, 4K video back to your data center. If don't, we just put an edge node. No matter it's a Jetson-based AI camera, Jetson-based AI box, a super smart umbrella camera with AI or NX building at the edge. So for the SI, for the city government, for the IT department of the end user, now you have the choices. You have the choices to design your project to be totally centralized, pure cloud or hybrid with a smart edge to leverage most of your workflow, the AI workflow at the very front end, and then use the cloud for what it's designed for, right? So we are trying to make our video management platform a tool. It's not no longer just serve for the surveillance industry, right? When we are talking about smart cities, smart factories, it's not just for perimeter protection, intrusion detection, visitor management detection. We are working with an interesting company like Solomon from Taiwan, Linker Vision from Taiwan, AI Mobile from Taiwan. They are doing very creative smart city solutions, smart factory solutions to help the city government, to help the factory owner to make their city, their factories run more effectively, right? For AIO detections, for manufacturing process monitoring, to classify different objects, to use robotic arms to pick devices, goods for logistic, right? So it's not about surveillance. When we are working in different verticals, the VMS has to change. We cannot always be the centralized the server, a closed system with a limited integration possibility, right? In the last 3 years, Nx has done a lot of things to move forward, right? The open platform, the open source developer tool, the open source desktop client, the enhancements of server support on ARM, different ARM, right? There are so many things when we are working with the Qualcomm partners. If we want to run a VMS on a Qualcomm edge device like this, there are so many technical details we have to overcome. But our software architectures are flexible enough that we can overcome all these challenges. If you are a Windows-based VMS, I cannot imagine how many challenges are there waiting for you to come up with the solutions like that, right? So with our software architecture, our core technology, we managed to make it happen within 6 months, right? Also, again, our desktop client, mobile client, we are going to introduce a new web client. These clients are and will be open sourced. Why we open source the client parts? Because every user has their own challenge. They have their own workflow. As a development team, it's not possible for us to take care of everything for everybody. Like we don't have that resources, right? So we open source the client to encourage the user your contractor to take advantage of these beautiful open source codes from Nx and develop the ultimate solutions you are looking for. Okay, so that's our update to you in Q4. And in Q1, next year, we are going to introduce generation 6. It's going to be a very big release. We are going to add a lot of cloud features. So our APAC team here, together with Andy, I believe in Q1, we are going to host another series of APAC webinar week to show you more about generation 6. Okay, so last minute, if there's any questions, please let us know. I am a little bit over time already. If there's no questions, I think after one week time, we will upload this webinar to the Nx official YouTube channels. Okay, so please feel free to share that with your colleagues, your partners. Okay, it's my pleasure. Yeah. All right. So please feel free to share the link with your partners, your users, right? We'll be more than happy to hear from you. Okay. Andy, is there anything you want to add or share with our attendees? All good?
All good. All good. As usual.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, it's been a very long week for you. Yeah, I saw you participating all the webinars with different languages, right? You're muted, by the
Just
way.
participate. Yeah.
Andy, you are muted. Yeah.
Hi. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for joining the Asia Webinar Week. Yeah, and this is the next session. And as Jason said, we will upload all the video to our YouTube channel. So feel free. Well, cool. So feel free to review it when it's on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Really appreciate your time. I wish you a happy Friday and a happy weekend. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I just realized I don't show the